What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Marcus, and I'm back with another live stream. On this channel, I make reselling content and anything that's going to help new resellers shorten the learning curve. So if that seems like something that you're into, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you'll know when I drop another video or a live stream. So on this channel, I like to do live streams every Tuesday and interview someone that's more seasoned than myself to be able to help new resellers like myself gain some knowledge and learn from their mistakes so we don't make the same ones. Tonight's guest is none other than Drew from Profit Monsters. I'm sure you guys know him. If you're on my channel, you have to know who he is. He's came up quite a bit in the last year, guys. So I'm gonna bring him on and let him introduce himself without further ado.
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing, bro?
I'm good. I'm sorry I was cutting it close with the time there.
Dude, I'm always cutting it close.
I was putting my kids to bed, so
you're all good, man. Yeah, I usually wait till like the last 5 minutes before I even get in the back room myself. So you're all good, bro.
Cool. Let me fix this light just a little bit because it seems kind of strong here. So
try to get shed's looking pretty good, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's a little messy right here because I got like 2 bins of like random stuff that I'm going through. But yeah, it's coming along. So appreciate that.
Man, when I first started following you was right when you had first gotten the shed. So I've seen the growth with it from the whole time you've had it. So let me go ahead and say what's up to the people in the chat real quick, and then we can go ahead and get this thing jumping off.
Let's go.
So we got Drew number 2. If you ain't first, you're last. What's going on, bro? Thanks for showing up. Really appreciate it. Rachel says, dang, Drew beat me here. We got Ty. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man?
Zach, Utah, and Barton gone. Drew, 2 days in a row. Best week ever.
I don't think I'll be live tomorrow, so don't get too excited.
Dana Invest, what's going on, bro? Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it.
What's up, man?
Got to get me a shed like that. Yeah, man, you definitely need you a shed, Dana. All that merch you got.
Yeah, that man's killing it.
Deborah, hey, all new here. Thanks. Definitely a new name for me. Appreciate you showing up. Smash the subscribe button while you're here, please. We got Miss Lachey. Hey, homie. She said, what's up, Marcus and Drew?
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, man. Thanks for showing up, bro. I really appreciate you taking some time to, bless us with the live stream presence.
Yeah, man.
How was your vacation?
I gotta try to. I'm sorry about my lighting. It's really bad. So
it looks fine to me, man. I think you're just over. Don't worry about it, bro.
All right.
You're fine, man. As long as we can see your face, that's all that people care about, man.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, man. Was your vacation good?
Yeah, man. It was really nice. It was actually, for the first time in a really long time, it was one of those vacations, like you go on vacation and you always come back going, man, that ended so quickly, or that wasn't long enough. Like it felt like a long vacation. Like I actually felt like I was gone for a week.
Yeah.
And it was a nice feeling. So I spent a lot of time with the boys, obviously, and my wife, and we just did a lot of stuff together. And we kind of thrifted here and there on the way to and fro from whatever we were doing. Like on the way back to the cabin, we'd stop at a Goodwill or something like that. But yeah, man, it was really nice. The only thing that was disappointing is, the whole point of the trip was to take the boys to see snow for the first time.
It
didn't snow. And then literally yesterday, like it was like a snowstorm.
Right.
And
that's the definition of irony right there, bro.
Yeah. So they didn't, I mean, we took them to like Beach Mountain and Sugar Mountain so they could see the snow.
Yeah.
And they got to like walk on the mountain, like at the bottom where the snowboarders come. And we did snow tubing. So we got to do a couple of things, but it's not the same as like waking up in the morning and like running outside and playing with snow.
Yeah, man. That's the only thing being there from Florida, man. Like you don't have any, if ever, snow there.
Never.
I live here in the Midwest, dude. I hate snow.
Yeah, I saw Rob and Renee rescue and resale. I think they live in Maryland or Maine, somewhere up there on the northeast coast. And they lost power. They were snowed in. And she posted, it looked like one of those, winter wonderland pictures that you see on like Google. I mean, it was so much snow.
Yeah, it ain't no fun,
I could never live there. But to, take the boys to be able to play in it for a week, we're definitely going to go somewhere else probably in the next couple months before the snow goes away.
Drew says the light is just your heavenly glow.
I'll take it. I'll
We
take
got
it.
Flipping Store. Hello, fellow flippers. That's a new name for me too. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate the support.
What's up, man? How's it going?
Got everybody speaking to each other. Drew, you're a fool. Oh, hey, Rachel. Closest snow to me is a 2 hour drive. Yeah, you live in a hot climate too, Arizona, man. There's no snow for you guys. You're not missing much, man. I promise you, you're not. Uh, Yesterday I went to the Goodwill Bends in St. Louis. That's 2 hours for me. There was no snow here where I stay at, but it's cold and frost on the windows. But I got up to St. Louis and there's snow on cars and all types of stuff, man.
Wow.
It's just crazy, just a 2 hour difference, away. The
Yeah.
climate change. So
Yeah, that's big.
yeah, man. I seen you guys found some pretty decent stuff that Patagonia and everything on your thrift trip. It's crazy how just the different geographical locations, the things you find that's so different from where you stay.
Oh yeah, it's the any of the thrift stores that I go to,
Mhm.
like, let's just start with winter gear. Like, you go into the jacket section of the Goodwill that's like a mile from my house.
Yeah,
I hardly even go to that Goodwill because the jacket section is like this long.
yeah.
I'm talking like like 12, 10, 10
Non-existent.
to 10 to 12 pieces of clothing.
Right.
And oh, let's go.
Hey,
Someone made
let's
a
go,
sale.
baby.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let's see what they bought.
But yeah, the jacket section is so weak, and like I see all these people, like my friend Bob Dabra from Iowa, he's like
Mm,
always finding Carhartt jackets and
yeah,
stuff like that. I'm like, man, I would love to find Carhartt jackets every single
yeah,
day.
dude. I find
And
them
so,
quite often. I found
yeah,
a Carhartt jacket, pretty much brand new in a storage. A guy, he got it in the storage unit, sold it to me for 82 cents. Uh, and I just found a full Carhartt suit at the
wow,
bins a couple weeks ago. It hasn't sold yet, but I'm sure it will.
yeah, Carhartt. We were just talking about this on our live last night, me and Joey.
Mhm.
That Carhartt is kind of weird because like most of the time it sells relatively quickly,
Yeah,
but every once in a while you just get that one Carhartt item that like it takes a while. Like
right.
I I found 4 pairs of Carhartt pants when I was in
Mhm.
North Carolina, and I've already sold 2 of them. I sold
Nice.
1 yesterday, and I sold 1 today, and the other 2 I just listed today.
So
But
I find the jeans take a while to sell longer than like the pants do because that's just what's in style right now. But even like with so the thing I just sold was a pair of Wolverine pants. It's
oh,
like
nice.
Carhartt, it's
Yeah.
competition, but I've had no problem getting rid of Carhartt pants. Carhartt shirts take a little longer for me to sell, but the jackets and pants fly off the shelf.
Oh, yeah, I agree. As long as you're priced right, which is kind of one of the topics of the video that I just posted
Right,
today on my YouTube channel. As long as
right.
you're priced right, that stuff will sell. But
Yeah.
usually when it comes to like more of the rare stuff, like if it's like a nice colorway, the blanket lined Carhartt
Mhm.
denim jackets, but it's like green or red,
Right.
I'll usually price those a little higher, like 125, 150, and then take offers because I know that they're a little more sought after than just like a basic, Carhartt hoodie or something.
Well, see, and that
So
comes with the knowledge that you have because I've only been doing this for a year, so I kind of just price it at what the market's going for it, and just maybe a dollar under, or somewhere around there, so I could try to get the quick sell. Let me
yeah,
speak to a couple more people. Garage selling with Keegan. What's up, guys? Just jumping in real quick because I actually got to go list some stuff. Hey, no problem, man. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate the support.
you can still
Abel,
you can still listen while you're
yeah, you
listing.
can list and listen. I do it all the time.
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
people.
Yes,
Hope
sir.
everyone is doing well. Just heard a cha-ching. Yes, sir.
Oh,
Literally going to
sorry,
be
messed up my camera here.
listening tonight while working out, Marcus. So if you could randomly encourage my reps, that'd be great. You know what's ironic as heck, Rachel, is while I was on your live chat earlier, I was in the gym working out. So that's crazy. You're working out to my video, I worked out to yours.
I can't speak on the working out aspect.
Man, that's one of your resolutions, bro.
It is. It is. I got back on from vacation on the 2nd, and
Mhm.
then yesterday I was doing all my shipping from being gone for a week.
Right.
And then today I started taking pictures of stuff that I've been, the clothing that I found while I was in North Carolina. I
Yeah.
started to list it, and then I recorded that YouTube video. So now I'm like pretty much kind of back into the flow of being
Right.
back. So uh Yeah, I got to start working out. My buddy Dalton, dealing with Dalton on YouTube and
Yeah, I
Instagram, he
know it
goes to the
is.
gym, so I'm trying to get into a schedule with him and
Right.
start going, but I haven't yet. So you guys
I'm
need to
gonna
get
push
on
you,
me.
bro.
You guys need to get on me.
What's up, Derek and Jasmine? Thanks for showing up. Yeah, man, I'm gonna start pushing you. Drew's gonna accept all offers going forward, except Matt Easy. What's up, Derek and Jasmine? Hey, Marcus and Drew. What's up, Carissa? Thanks for showing up, homie.
Hey,
Uh,
Carissa. What's up, Derek?
yeah, man. So I was watching your video earlier, and it's funny because everybody has their own business model and they run their business differently. And me, the bulk of my sales are from offers. Like
Yep.
80% of my sales are from either me accepting an offer or sending an offer. So it's funny that you said that you turned down a lot of offers, or you probably countered a little bit higher than what you need to or something. So it's funny just to see, some you've been selling, you said full time for 3 years, right?
Just about. Yeah,
Just
I
about.
think April will be three years full time.
So it's funny to see, your strategy of being in the game for as long as you have to, you're finally gonna, start accepting offers and stuff. How much money do you think you missed out on by not accepting offers?
Man, that's really hard. I'd have to go back and really calculate it, but I mean, like I said in the video and in the thumbnail, it's probably
Thousands. Yeah.
thousands. I mean, the thing is that, when you first find an item and you see that it has a good sell-through rate,
Hmm.
and let's just use Carhartt for example because we were
Right.
talking about it. You find a blanket line Carhartt jacket for $10 at Goodwill, and
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh man, this is selling for $100 to $150." Well, my mentality is if it's selling for 150, I'm going to list it for 150.
Yeah.
And then when you start getting like $80, $90 offers and you're like, okay, if my mentality is if I'm getting $90 offers right away,
Hmm.
surely I'm going to get a higher offer,
Right.
and
Right.
so that was kind of my mentality for a long time. And I do accept offers quite often.
Hmm.
I mean, in fact, today I could go through 4 sales that I made before the live that were all offers that I accepted. A
Right.
pair of shoes I had listed for 130, I accepted a $110 offer.
Yeah.
Another item I had listed for 30, I accepted a $25 offer. You get the point.
It's just the
So,
disrespectfully lowball offers.
right.
Yeah,
Like
I get
I
it.
have a pair of shoes. It's a rare model of Jason Kidd Bonafide something
Yeah.
or others. I have them listed for $180,
Mm.
and someone just offered me, I kid you not, $19.99
That's
right
crazy,
before
dude.
this live started.
That's the stuff that
So
gets on my nerves.
yeah, so I'm not going to, I'm not going to accept that offer.
Of
I
course
mean,
not.
I countered at 150, and if they had sent me anything that was reasonable, even over $100, I would have accepted that.
Yeah, of
But
course.
the mentality about accepting offers is, to me, it comes down to, a couple things, which again, I don't want to sound like a broken record from things I said in the YouTube video, so I'll
Mm.
try to keep it different. But it comes down to a little bit of discipline and then a little bit of knowing, you have to treat your business like your business, as Rachel
Right,
says,
it's
but
Richard Strickland.
you have to treat your business like it's, like it's not something that you get emotionally attached to. That's the only
Right.
way I can think of it. There's so many items in my shed that I have listed that, like if I took a lower offer on it, it's not like, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it, but it's not going to hurt my feelings if
Right.
I sell a $30 item for $20 or for $15. Like, it hurts mentally because you think, oh, this is half of my asking price.
Yeah,
But
of
then at the
course.
same time, you have to think of, like, which I said in the video, you have to think of all the different factors that play into this. Like, how long has it been listed? How many offers have you had since you listed it?
Right, right.
Um, did you price it high on the market or did you price it competitive?
Mm.
What size is it? Is it a clothing item or a pair of shoes that, you could, if it's a pair of Brooks running shoes that's a women's size 9, you could sell it in one day. But if it's a
Yeah,
women's size 5,
it's gonna
it
be
might
real
sit
hard
for,
to sell.
yeah, it might sit for 6 months because
Yeah.
not as many women have a size 5 foot as women that have a size 9.
Right, right,
So
right. We
I've
got
really tried to get out of in 2021, but moving into this year, it's like a big goal of mine is to not get emotionally attached to anything. Like if I
right.
get anything, and I get a fairly decent offer on it, like at this point, I'm pretty prone to accepting it.
Yeah,
Um, and it's not because my numbers are down or I'm desperate for sales. It's just like that's really the name of the game is turn and burn.
of
Like,
course.
and I see a lot of resellers, like Dalton, for example, Ginger Marvin, Kathy,
Mhm.
a lot of these other resellers that go on the more turn and burn business model than,
Yeah,
list high and let it fly, or whatever, or
yeah,
let it sit until it sells. And they're making the same amount of money or, a little less or a little more, depending on the person, how hard they work, you
right,
know, um, in certain cases, like, they could be accepting $30 offers on shoes and they're only profiting $12 to $15 net
mhm,
profit, where I may be holding out on that same pair to try to net $20 or $25.
right.
But what could I be doing with that money while they're getting theirs and I'm not
Mhm.
getting mine?
And that's the mind frame that I've been in. I've been listening to a lot of daily refinement in tech and sports, man. And one of the things that they say that I heard you say in your video earlier was so like if you paid $4 for an item and you could sell it for $100, but if you sell it for 70, you're still making a ridiculous amount of profit off of it. So why not let it go? That's one of the things that I've been doing lately. If I pay a dollar, $2 for a pair of jeans, I got it listed for $25. Somebody sends me an offer for 20, I'm gonna accept it because I'm still netting a very good profit at the end of the day. And
Right,
especially because I can sell it a lot quicker. So
right,
there's no point in me. I mean, there's sometimes there's so I got a pair of Jinkos listed right now. I got like 27 watches on this thing. I've listed them last week. I keep getting really low offers on it, just you know, not even half of what I got it listed for. I'm probably going to accept the next decent offer I get just because they are thrashed. I'm talking about like ridiculous condition, but the name, you know what I mean? For some reason, kids are buying that stuff right now. But I'm
yeah.
probably going to accept the next offer that I get just to get rid of it because that's even at $50. I got them listed for $80. Even at $50, I can still make a lot of profit off of a $2 investment.
If you don't have a Depop account, you should really consider making one just for those, because I guarantee you'll sell them on Depop.
Well, I don't have a Depop account at all. You know what I mean?
It's
Probably
it's
should.
it's probably the easiest platform to create an account for and to list on, and it's
Yeah.
only 10% fees.
Abel says, I agree, trying not to get attached to my inventory. I do sometimes, though. And I think we all do. We all get attached to the name. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I've learned that the less emotion I have about it, the more money I make. The less emotion I have about it, the less of a death pile I have. Because if I'm not going through my items and picking out all the winners, if I'm just listing everything, like that stack right there, it's not in any specific order. That's just what I'm getting ready to list. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to just list all the winners and then keep a whole bunch of losers sitting over there because it's still worth money at the end of the day, or else I wouldn't have picked it up.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I'm a firm believer in listing everything that you buy. There's no reason
Right.
that in my opinion, there's no reason you should be listing the most expensive stuff, then the mids, then the low
Yeah.
stuff, because at the end of the day, you picked all of it.
Right.
And if you put yourself in that mentality of, oh, I got to list the $100 items first, then the $50 items, then the $10 items. When you
Mm,
get to the $10 items, you don't want to list them, and that's how death piles build up, because you're like,
right.
oh well, why would I list a $10 item when I just listed a $100 item?
Of course.
And so, yeah, it's a big issue that you don't do that at all. If you source it, you list it. You
Right.
know,
That's what I try to tell my girlfriend too. What's going on, man? Thanks for showing up, bro. Appreciate it. My
what's up,
girlfriend,
everybody?
she'll list, all the high dollar items and things that's got a high sell through. Zach, I'm in Missouri. I stay in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. But
Isn't that where Rachel and Drew live?
she stays like 45 minutes away from me in like Dexter.
Yeah.
So it's real close. I mean, considering. Uh, But yeah, she's got things that she bought like when we were on vacation in July that she still hasn't listed. And I'm like, babe, what are you doing? There's like money sitting there. She's like, it doesn't have a good sell through. And I'm like, well, you shouldn't have bought it first of all. She's like, but it was so cheap. And I'm like, well, just go ahead and get it listed and get your money back because it's taking up space and you don't even have it listed. You know what I mean? So like, it's
Yeah.
like with me, I won't do that. I don't have a death pile. Like literally, I list what I get. What's up,
Yeah.
FSG? Thanks for showing up, bro.
Yeah, I would say that, like, right now, currently, I mean, I've always been a big promoter of my hashtag is team no death pile, you know, like
Right,
I've
right.
always been a pusher for no death pile. But right now, because of everything that went down in December, I did the Vlogmas, and then
Mhm.
I did a couple of buyouts in December.
Yeah,
And obviously I had to make some thrifting content, so I went thrifting and I bought stuff, and I'm still trying to stay up on my listings while I'm editing. And then,
right.
Christmas and leaving on Christmas Day. We
Yeah.
left at like 1 in the morning on Christmas. Um, well, technically the day after Christmas, 1 a.m.
Mhm.
With the kids, and we drove. So then I was gone for a week in December. So I do have stuff that I need to list, but I mean, like I listed probably 25 items today so far, and
Yeah.
once I get done with the live, I'm gonna bust out some stuff. I probably got like right now I probably have like 30 pairs of shoes I need to list, maybe 25. And then I've got, 3 or 4 electronic items that I need to test, and then,
Mhm.
probably 20 to 30 clothing items. Like it's
Man,
not much. It's if I don't source for 2 or 3 days, it'll all be done, this week.
right.
It's not like that's what I don't consider it a death pile, because it's like it's not something that's going to take me months
I
to catch
don't
up on.
consider it a death pile if it doesn't last nothing but a couple days. You know what I mean? I just feel like that's what you're listing out of. But to me, a death pile is something you've had for a couple weeks, or you keep adding to it, and you don't have no intention of getting to the bottom of it. You know what
Right.
I mean? But like if you're like actively listing daily, it's not really a death pile. It's just your listing pile. So
Yeah.
Jeff says he ordered 1,500 items in a bulk order, so he is on Team Death Pile. Hey, you
That's
got to,
different, but yeah.
yeah. I'm definitely that's something I'm considering, man. Ordering stuff in bulk. I really honestly don't know where to start, man. I've Googled like where to buy bales of jeans at, and I'm only coming up with like Alibaba, and that's not what I'm looking for. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Bales of jeans are really, really tough.
Yeah, I
Like
know, man.
your best bet is to go to the Goodwill bins
That's what
and
I
just go
do. I
there
do
all day and pick up every pair of jeans that you can find, you know?
I go there 2 times a week, and, I'm trying to talk to the manager, about getting a bale from there because they do bale up the stuff from the bins there, at least that's one of the workers told me. He said that, I can probably purchase a bale through them, but I just gotta I don't want all the other stuff that's gonna come with it. I only want jeans, so that's the problem with that I'm gonna have. So I've just been
Yeah.
going 2 times a week and staying, they open and close at my Goodwill. They don't cycle out rows, so they open for 3 hours, close for 2 hours, fill every bin back up, and then open for another three. So I've been going and staying for both rotations, and trying to get as many pairs as I can. Normally, I'll come out with about 50 to 60 pairs of jeans in a day,
Wow.
which it's decent, but I prefer to get all my listing, sourced in one day, so that way I can still hit the local thrift stores. But it, it's just what I have to work with right now. So
Yeah.
trying to scale, man.
Is that kind of like what you're trying to move into, is like all jeans? Like
It's
that's what
not
you want to be?
necessarily what I want to move into. It's just what's more easily accessible. I like the variety that the money that I make from the variety of hard goods and clothing and shoes and stuff like that. But as far as me trying to scale, and then like today I ran into an issue where I didn't have a box and I had to go get a box and I had to go buy this and I had to go to ship my first ever Guitar Hero drum set, and I'm like, I don't see. I was literally sitting there. I don't see how Drew does this. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, I made a decent amount of profit on it. And then I even made $50 off the shipping. But the headache that I put into it, it's not worth it for me. You know what I mean?
Sure, sure.
Just like you had that video with you and Joey, and you were talking about that white pair of shoes and how you can make it bounce back. You pay $20 for it and you'll get $100 something off of it. I literally hate cleaning shoes with a passion, bro. Like my girlfriend gave me a pair of Air Forces, and I'm like, I'm gonna just list them the way they are. You know what I mean? Let somebody else clean them up because they're wearing them like that anyway.
Yeah,
So
I feel that. When I first started reselling, I mean, I was picking up anything and everything that I could to make a buck. And I
right,
was doing just about anything that I could to increase the value. I
yeah,
would clean it, I would sanitize it, I would,
yeah,
whatever. I would, like, on a Guitar Hero guitar, I'd peel off the stickers and use Goo Gone and all that kind of stuff.
mhm,
And you start to find in different categories, when you are an all in everything seller, if you want to call it that,
yeah,
you know, you start to find like what is acceptable, if that's the right phrase, and what is not. Like, so for example, the in my cleaning video that I did
mhm,
during Vlogmas, where I cleaned 3 pairs of shoes,
right,
the only there's two reasons I picked those shoes up. The first reason is for the video to show
Yeah.
people that you can clean shoes. And the second reason was I got them at the Goodwill bins and I paid like $2 a pair.
Right.
You know, if I had found those Hokas at Goodwill and they were $9.99, I would have left those on the shelf,
Yeah.
you know, faster than I could have walked past them.
Of
You know,
course.
because it wouldn't have been worth it for me. I mean, even the amount of money that I made from that YouTube video wasn't even worth the effort that I put into cleaning them. You know,
Right.
the amount of money that I made last month in December, making 26 YouTube videos
Mhm.
in 25 days was not worth it to me for the money, but I didn't do it
Right.
for the money, you
Of
know?
course.
But as far as like Guitar Hero guitars, now I have found that it doesn't matter if they have stickers on them or not, as long as it's a model that's in demand,
Mhm.
people will buy it for the same price, whether it has
Right.
stickers or not. I haven't seen any difference, you know, in sales from Explorer guitars with stickers or without.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there are certain things that you learn, like you were just saying, you know, you learn to walk by certain things in the thrift and you're like, yeah, that's
Right.
not worth my time anymore. When
Right.
back in the day, it was like, bro, I would pick up a pair of Hirachis and clean them and make them look crispy to turn them into
Mhm.
$50 because, you know, I wasn't finding as many shoes as I am now because I
Right.
didn't know as many brands, you know, or something like that. And
Yeah.
so, you know, it's the same thing with what you call it, like white t-shirts. Like, are they worth soaking in OxyClean
Yeah.
and putting them through the wash? Like, probably not at this point in my business. You know, I'm looking for stuff that's tested, working, in good
Mhm.
condition, you know, and I'm very disciplined. If you look at my thrift hauls now, other than like bulk buyouts, if you look at pictures or YouTube videos of my thrift hauls on Instagram or YouTube,
Mhm.
you can see the difference. Like if you go back and look at a thrift haul from, you know, month or two ago
Yeah.
to 2 years ago, you can see the difference in stuff that I picked up, the condition that it was in. Like
Right.
if something was stained, I would pick it up and see if I could clean it, you know,
Yeah.
throw it in the wash. And now I don't even pick that kind of stuff up because it's not worth my time to try to get the stain out, even if it's
Yeah.
a good brand, like, you know, a pair of Rock Revival jeans with a big stain on them or something. It's like, that's just if it doesn't look like it's going to come out in a washing machine cycle, I'm not going to put any more effort into it. I'm just
Which
going to.
is crazy that you say that because I just sold a pair of vintage 501s that were stained. You know what I mean? And they
Well,
sold like pretty much instantly, like within 10 minutes.
Well,
But
some stuff distressed is worth a lot of money.
right.
One of them is being Carhartt. I posted I posted about, I would say at this point, a year ago, maybe less. I found this pair of Carhartt bib overalls,
Mhm.
and I'm telling you, they were thrashed,
Yeah.
bro. Like they were dirty, stained, oil stains, you know,
Mhm.
fraying on all of the ends.
Right.
And I picked those up at the Goodwill bins when I was in Iowa with my buddy Bob Dabra, and I put it on my Instagram, Copper Drop. It
Mhm.
was like 92% people said drop,
Yeah.
8% said cop, and I listed them and I sold them in like an hour for
Nice.
$55 plus shipping.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
mean, it's crazy.
so I've been asked, Thrift and Flip asked, do I focus on just new or would I pay a little more if they were new? I'm assuming you're talking about shoes. Um, when I go out sourcing, I'll pick up new or used shoes. I predominantly sell used shoes just because the returns better on them. But the thrift store near me, they sell shoes for $3 a piece. So
Wow.
that's generally my number one source of sneakers. But I will pick pairs up when I go to the Goodwill bins, just because, like Drew said, they're like $2. But at the same time,
Excuse me.
I stopped picking up shoes that I was going to have to spend 25 minutes getting them clean, just because in
Right.
25 minutes I can list 6, 7 items. I can list
Excuse me.
6, 7 pairs of jeans in 25 minutes. So
Yep.
it's like at the end of the day, I gotta value what more I could be doing.
Dang, bro, let's go.
Dude, I've been listing a lot lately, man. I've been listing a lot. So
Was that 2 sales in a row right there?
no, that's just the one. There's a pair of BKEs too.
Nice, dude. That's a great
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah. So like I've been like consistent with the listing and I've been going up a listing per month. So 2022, I'm doing 15 a month, 15 a day, all month, and then February I'll go up to 16, and so on and so forth, and I'll just go up a listing each month, and it's been paying off, man. The sales are rolling in fairly consistently, and I've been selling the heck out of some clothes, man. It's easy to list. It's easy to ship. I don't need no supplies. I get free supplies from the USPS. All I do is buy poly mailers and my thank you cards. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
it's quick to ship. And some thermal labels. But like my girlfriend, she sells everything still. Like when I still got everything listed in my account, but I've only been buying shoes and clothes lately. And I'll come in the room and she'll be like, I need a freaking box for this and I need a box for that. And I'm just like, babe, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? I can go buy you some boxes from Lowe's, but I'm not actively like hitting up the Dollar General and grabbing their boxes off the back
Yeah.
of the store now because
Yeah.
I don't need them until I need them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I'm just trying to have less headaches and less stress in 2022 when it comes to the business side of things, man. And I feel like if you enjoy it, you'll get at it more. You know what I mean? Like, and I
100%.
actually enjoy selling clothes, and I hated selling clothes when I first started. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just now I've taken the emotion out of it, and it's just I know that this is the necessary steps, and then me getting paid, so I'm grinding at it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, there's a couple different factors when it comes to full-time reselling. The first one is you got to make your money, like you got to pay your bills.
Yeah,
And so,
definitely.
yeah, I just
Yeah,
messaged
yeah,
Scott and told him
yeah.
I was wearing his shirt. So
Yeah.
he,
You're like the fifth person I've seen with one of those, man. I gotta get me one.
but there's a couple of factors that go into full-time reselling. Like I said, the first one is you got to make the bills. You got to pay the
Right.
bill. So you do whatever it takes. And then when you kind of start finding your groove a little bit, like, you like listing jeans, they're easy to store, they're easy to ship, padded flat
Mhm.
rate envelopes, like it's going to go 7 to 8
Yeah.
bucks, and you can still, if you do calculated shipping, a buyer could pay 12, 13, $14, and you can,
Right.
still
Make a
profit a
couple
couple of
bucks.
bucks,
Yeah.
you know, and then you kind of just get down to the nitty gritty of like, okay, I legitimately don't like cleaning shoes. So I either stop selling shoes or I only buy shoes that I can immediately photograph when I get home. And
Right.
that's kind of what Rinsey says. Ryan and Lindsay, they're full-time shoe
Yeah.
resellers. They have this saying that says, stop being romantic to what doesn't work and pour
Mhm. Pour
gas on things
gas on
that
what
work.
does. Yep.
And that's different for everybody.
Yeah.
For me, I I love selling variety of stuff. I
Yeah.
love selling video games. I love selling tools, shoes, clothing. I love it all.
Mhm.
What I've gotten more disciplined in though is going to a thrift store and finding something and being okay with leaving it at the thrift store and
Right.
saying, "Yeah, this isn't for me today." Like
Mhm.
something I don't like selling that I know is money, coffee makers.
Yeah.
I hate testing them. I hate cleaning them. I hate
Right.
sanitizing them. I hate shipping them because of the glass, the coffee
Mhm.
pot. They always break. I always get buyers complaining.
Yeah.
Anything that has to do with like kitchen appliances, 90% of the time, I don't know why it always ends up in a fail for me.
Yeah.
Toasters. The only thing that I had success with really was bread makers and Ronco rotisserie
Yeah. I've
ovens.
seen you kill it with I picked up a Ronco because of you, and I'm still sitting on it.
Well,
I don't
they
know what
when
I'm doing wrong, though.
when COVID blew up, like, in 2019,
Yeah.
those and bread makers, I couldn't keep them in stock, and
Yeah.
I still have probably 3 Roncos and 3 bread makers to this day, and I've lowered the price on them. I even tried to sell them in my garage sale that I had a while
It's not
back, but,
happening, huh?
eventually, someone will come through and make me an offer on it, and whatever that offer is, I'll
Right.
accept it at that point, but, I'd rather have more than enough during that crisis, when I was selling tons of them, than
Mm.
not have enough, and have a couple left over now. So,
Right.
I think that definitely is something that has helped me in my business is walking into a thrift store and being like, it's mostly numbers for me,
Mhm.
like margins. Like I look at something and I'm like, this
Right.
Goodwill is selling these, like there's certain, man, if you could see Florida's thrift stores,
Dude,
you
I
would
see your
probably
post, man. It's ridiculous.
there's some Goodwills that will sell jeans for $5.99, and then you
Mhm.
go to a Goodwill 30 minutes down the road, and they're selling the same pair of jeans for $16.99.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm talking about like I've left brands like Miss Me,
Mhm.
or Levi 501s or whatever
Mhm.
for 16.99 because I'm just not going to
There's more
sell them for
profit there. Yeah.
29.99.
Yeah.
It's not worth my time. At
Right.
5.99, definitely worth my time.
Right.
But for $17 to sell them for 30 after fees and all that, no, thank you.
Yeah.
But that's hard. You have to really be disciplined
Yeah.
to be like, is this worth my time to list and ship for a $6 net profit just
Right.
because I want to say that I found a pair of Miss Me jeans?
Mhm.
Absolutely not. Not
Yeah.
anymore, at least.
And that's the way that I've gotten to, man. Like I said, I've only been doing this for a year, but at the same time, though, I'm learning from, I watch so much YouTube, bro. Like every reseller's YouTube. I'm watching and I'm learning and I'm picking up all the gems and the jewels that everyone's putting out there. And I'm trying to form, the best business model for myself. And the number one thing is don't waste time or waste money. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And if it's gonna sit, I'm not gonna buy it. If it's gonna be a pain in the butt for me to ship, I'm not gonna buy it because all that time I spend packing and bubble wrapping and all that stuff, I could list 5 more items. You know what I mean? And if it's not about making my job easier at this point, I really just don't have much interest in it. And Angelo says clothes have more potential for returns. I'll leave that for others except t-shirts and hats. There is, a chance that you can get a return in clothing, but the easy thing about it is it's usually a real quick process, and then you turn around and resell it again, and the next person that buys it keeps it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
I
lose.
have way worse luck with electronics with
Yes,
returns.
yes,
Like,
man.
I get a DVD combo unit, I test it, I play it, I
Mhm.
make sure everything works, I sell it for $89.99. 2 days later, return request doesn't
Right.
work. And I'm like, "Bro, that is some bull because I swear I test
Yep,
why would I sell something that doesn't work?"
yep,
You know what I mean?
and
So
risk
those
your
those
account
things
health.
I'm telling you, I've slowed down the electronics. As much as I love Tim Osborne to Thrift,
Mhm, he
I
kills it,
I
man.
I have slowed down the electronics section in my business model. I'm talking like this, like a
Yeah,
straight downhill drop
right.
where I'm only picking up stuff if it's like less than $10 and I can sell it for more than 150.
Right. That's
You
why,
know?
like, I heard Tech and Sports say, I've never heard anyone say, "My pair of jeans broke in the mail when you're shipping." You know what I mean? And so, like,
Yep.
that's where I'm kinda sitting at right now, man. I'm not really into, testing things either, and so, like, you sell a lot of video games and video game consoles and related stuff. I don't have consoles on deck to test games, nor Guitar Hero, controllers, Rock Band. So I don't have that stuff on deck. So if I buy it, I got to send it out as is and hope somebody buys it that way, or send it out untested. You know what I mean? And then I'm just risking the return, and that's
Yeah.
just a waste of time for me, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. That's that just shows that you are a smart business person. That's really what it shows is, that you have the discipline to know like as much as I want to pick up this $200 Rock Band set at a
Mhm.
Goodwill right now, I don't have a way to test it.
Right.
And so there's no point for me to buy it and then not list it because I can't
Mhm.
test it. And
Yep.
too many people do that. They
Yep.
buy the Rock Band set because they see someone like me selling Rock Band sets
Yep.
for $200. And then they message me and they're like, "Hey, Drew, I picked up this Rock Band set. Can you tell me what I need to do?" I'm like, "No, like you got to go get a PlayStation 3 or a Nintendo
Right.
Wii or, you know, like whatever it takes, and you find those things that work for you. Like for me, I've sourced enough that I know how to test them quick. I know,
Mhm.
I have a Wii, system. I have a TV like with the little VCR,
Yeah.
AV hookup in the front, the little gaming TV.
Yep.
I plug it in real quick. I power it on. I play one, maybe 2 rounds if I'm feeling spicy of Guitar Hero,
Yeah.
and then I list it, and my shipping department for Rock Band stuff is very disciplined. As soon as I get it, I don't just let it sit all over the shed. I box it
Yeah.
up and I label it so that as soon as I sell it, it's already ready to
Right.
go.
That
I
probably
don't have
helps
to
with
I don't have to
storage
stress
too.
out. Yeah, I don't have to stress out about packing it and, taking time out of my day. Like as soon as I list it, I
Mhm.
disassemble it, I bubble wrap it, I reshape the box, the same box I use for every Rock Band set,
Mhm.
and I reshape it, I tape it up, and I put it in there, and then I label it, and then
Right.
boom, done. You know,
Scott
but that
Scott said something very valuable right there. As resellers, we don't value our time enough. That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, I bet you save a ton of time packing your Rock Band sets up immediately. I wish I would have
Yeah.
thought of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't necessarily do that with the guitars because usually with the guitars, even though I have tested them,
Mhm.
I get them so frequently that when I sell one, I like to put the batteries back in it and test it and make sure that it's
Right.
still working. Um, but I mean, even sometimes, it's I'm trying to think of like the right way to say it is, you just you just have to be disciplined, man. You have to
Right.
figure out what works for you. Like, again, like Scott just said, he doesn't like electronics, high
Right.
return rate. But man, that man can find the most amazing vintage pieces at estate sales that if I was
Look
at
how
an
Dana
estate sale,
is, man.
that estate sale, that same jacket that he found and sold for $600 would be $1,200 at an estate sale in Florida.
Yeah.
You know,
Katie
so
says she agrees with you. Electronics have caused her more headaches than she likes to deal with.
yeah,
Oh, they don't get me wrong, man. Like I made a boatload of money off electronics, but they've caused me some headaches too. Like I got a Sony 5 disc CD changer, right? And I bought it at a yard sale for 15 bucks. Couldn't test it, you know what I mean? And I sold it as untested as is. A lady messaged me, she's like, "Hey, my husband has one of these right now. I'm trying to buy one to replace it for his birthday. Um, what's your return policy?" And I'm like, "Free returns, no questions asked. If it doesn't work, send it back, for any reason." I said, "At least you and I both know that I can't test all of the functions." I said, "It turns on, it plays CDs, but I don't have any I didn't have a way to record and test the CDs at the time because I didn't have any brand new CDs with me." And she said, "Okay, I'll buy it." So of course she bought it and had to return it because it didn't record CDs properly. So I got the item back. I paid for shipping both ways, or on the way back, it was $20. Then I resold it as for parts only, you know what I mean? But still, just having to go through all that and then try to sell it for parts, and take not even half of what wanted to sell it for. It's
yeah.
just not worth it for me in the end.
Yeah, I'll give you a perfect example. I shared this on my Instagram story yesterday. I
Mhm.
had a Marantz 5 disc CD
Yeah,
changer
that's a good
player,
brand.
and Marantz is a great brand. I picked this up at a flea market a while ago for like $10, and
Mhm.
I listed it. Um, I originally didn't test it. I just looked at the comps. It powered on, and I heard the thing move, so I was like, all right, I'm going to list it real quick, and I'll test it later. Well, it turns out that when I went to test it, the LED bar like that says power on, what CD it's on, wasn't working.
Right.
So I ended up relisting it for like half of what I originally listed it for with free shipping. Like I just wanted it gone. Some
Mm.
lady buys it from me yesterday with zero feedback,
Mhm.
and like my title says, please read description, and then in the
They
description
never read.
the description says clearly the LED bar does not work. The unit powers on. You can open the disc tray, close it, put CDs in, and it will work. You don't see any words or lights on the LED bar.
Mhm.
So long story short, I messaged the lady. She's like, "What do you mean it doesn't light up?" And I have to explain it to her, and she's like, "Oh, please cancel my order."
Huh.
I'm like, "Bro,
Yeah.
read." But
I've
I
started to put the first words in the title now.
Yeah, but that is my point is um, I would have had a return on that unit had I not messaged the lady
Yeah.
because she didn't read,
Yeah.
and I still would have had to accept the return because on that I have two eBay stores. On that store,
Mhm.
I have free 30-day returns,
Right. Now,
and
is that
so
the
I would have
second
had.
store that you started?
What's that?
Is that the second store you started or the
No, that
original
was on my
store?
original store.
Okay.
Yeah. So on my second store, I have no returns as a return policy, but I still
Mhm.
accept them,
Yeah.
especially if it's an issue, my fault or something like that. But
Right.
usually when people just say like I don't like it, I don't accept those returns on that store. And so far it's been working pretty good. So it's like the reason that I started the second store was for a couple different reasons, but that was
Mhm.
one of them to test out different
Business
methods
model.
and policies. Like
Right.
on my original store, when I was on Tommy Bernhard's show a long time ago,
Mhm.
we talked about flat rate shipping versus calculated shipping, and I started changing a lot of my items to flat rate.
Yeah.
And then on the new store, I haven't done that with pretty much anything, and everything's calculated. And I've seen some pretty strong numbers from that store, and
Awesome.
everything's calculated shipping. So I'm kind of playing around with different things to see what's working and what's not. But I have 100% feedback on that store. I have no negative or neutral feedback.
Nice.
I I barely have, knock on wood, like Dana just said, I have like
Yeah.
a very, very low return rate on that store. And so, yeah, I'm really happy with the results.
Now that's the one you started up after the Allbirds fiasco, right?
Yeah, technically, yes.
And you know what's crazy is now Allbirds allows you to sell their stuff and they don't they don't give anybody Veros anymore? Like they're okay with it now?
Well, so the story behind that is that I contacted Allbirds,
Yeah.
and I was gonna put out a second video, but I didn't because it was just too much drama for me. But I
Right.
made the first video that I got Vero'd,
Yeah.
and then it kind of, I wouldn't call it viral, but it did good for the video. Like it got like 3,000 views in the first couple days, which was really
Yeah.
good for me at the time. And a lot of people started going on Allbirds' Instagram page and
And
saying,
flame them, huh?
yeah, flaming them, saying like, you guys are supposed to be all about, the environment, and you're
Yeah.
not letting people resell the shoes. You want them to just throw them away, blah, blah, blah. So I reached out to the marketing team at Allbirds and had like a bunch of conversation, tons of DMs with them mainly.
Yeah.
I asked them if they would get on a phone call with me or if they would do a Zoom call, and they refused. And the the long and short of what happened with the Allbirds situation is they had a third party company that they hired to remove Allbirds
Hmm.
that were listed as used, but were using new photos from the website,
More like the stock photos.
stock photos. So
Gotcha.
they were zeroing people who were using stock photos on
Yeah, but
used
you had
shoes.
shoe trees in yours.
Right, exactly. Well, the claim was that my shoes looked so new in the picture that the third party
Whatever.
companies bots saw my listing as one of those flags, and they zeroed my account.
That's
They
crazy.
since then they Allbirds contacted eBay,
Mhm.
had them remove the strike off of my account. They
Nice.
apologized for it, and said, we're sorry, this isn't what was supposed to happen.
Mhm.
And then from there, basically, they said that they're going to work with that third party company, and it shouldn't happen anymore.
Well, it's
So
crazy how
they
much of an impact you had, though.
so they never really had like a Vero on
Mhm.
their shoes. It was just when it zeroed me and I contacted eBay about it, they just said that Allbirds is on the Vero list.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you can't see it on eBay's website when you look at the list of Veros,
Mhm.
but it's on the Vero list. And I'm like, well, that doesn't really
That
make
makes
sense. And then
sense.
that's when I made the video.
Right.
But supposedly, I don't know if it was them covering their, their butts or, whatever, but that was their claim, was that a third party company, was using, it glitched. So,
Right.
but I don't know. I definitely don't agree with using stock photos. Just like Angelo said, you should never use stock photos, even on new shoes or
Yeah.
new products. Like, just use your own photos,
See,
and then you won't have that problem.
I used stock photos when I first started reselling, going to the Amazon bin stores, and I was getting items that were taped shut and factory sealed. In order for me to not open box it, change the condition of it, I would use stock photos and
Yeah.
then take a picture of the box factory sealed and everything, and then put that in the description or in the photo section too. But then I just stopped doing it because I heard that that's what people were getting Veros for, was using stock photos. So now,
Yeah.
even if an item is brand new or factory sealed, I'll open it up, take pictures of it, and then tape it back shut and just put it in the description that it was open for photo
Right.
purposes.
Yeah. I've personally never found that I've had an issue with titling something as new open box,
Mhm.
because if you have to open the box to take pictures to show everything's there,
Mhm.
it's still brand new. And
Right.
so I've never had a customer, like when I sold that Magnavox DVD combo unit for like
Mhm.
$700,
Yeah.
it was brand new, like with the tape still over it.
Mhm.
I used a box cutter and taped open the box and showed the inside of the box with the styrofoam
Mhm.
and the remote to show the buyer that it was still in there, like it was brand new in the box.
Yeah.
To me, that gives me as a buyer more confidence, knowing like, hey, this is brand new. It's just that the box has been opened to show you it's new.
Right.
Versus not opening it all and just saying, hey, it's in there. Because if I would have bought it, for all I know, the person I bought it from, I bought it on Facebook Marketplace, I could have gotten scammed,
Yeah.
and they could have just resealed it. I mean, people do that all the time with stuff. And so that was one of the reasons why I did open it, was to make sure that the product that I purchased was actually in there. So when I
Of
go to sell
course.
it for a significantly bigger profit,
It's just
you
not
know,
bricks.
yeah, exactly, that I'm not taking a chance on a
Yeah.
return for a $700 item just because I
Right.
didn't open the outside cardboard. So
So
that's, I wouldn't
Carissa
call it a
said,
pro tip, but I've never had an issue with that, unless it's something that's like, you're at an Amazon bin store and clearly it's like one of those massage guns or something, and it's
Yeah.
like, it's in there because it's an original sealed box.
Right.
But like with this combo unit, it was so expensive, I had to, you
You
know,
had to, of course, that makes
I
sense.
yeah, to show that it was there.
Uh, Carissa says she got a listing removed from using Photo Room. I don't even use. I used to do the Photo Room, but now I just show people exactly what they're getting, man. No editing on the photos. Dana
Yeah,
says,
me either.
question for both. Worst buy of last year. Mine was 100 pairs of size 5 women's shoes for $50 that I just can't sell. Yeah, I remember that buy, dude. Uh, my worst buy of last year, man, I really can't say exactly. I know I made a lot of bad buys when I first got started. Uh, I took like 5K, man, and start buying all resell, pairs of sneakers off StockX, trying to like get into the hype sneaker, game. And that just went real bad for me. I lost about $1,500 trying to recoup my money, like just selling the shoes at the highest offer on StockX to get my money back. And then man, sadly, the next worst buy that I had was the one with you. I made all my money back plus a lot of profit, but I'm still sitting on like 10 pairs of those shoes, man, that I got from you, which is no fault of yours, no fault of Rally Roots. They're just undesirable pairs, you know what I mean? And at the time that I bought that, there was 3 boxes left. I picked the one that had the most value left in it. So there's nothing you did, there's nothing I did. I just have some shoes that aren't worth, selling anymore. Now,
Yeah.
the two biggest winners that I got out of that buyout with you was the two replacement pairs of shoes that you sent me, which
Yeah,
made me.
I tried to make that worth it,
Dude, you overdid it, man. You did. I made $70 off the black pair Air Riva Dirches, and then I made like $50 off the New Balance. So that box was tons of profit, but at the same time, it was probably one of the worst buys that I made as far as what I have left from it. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
fair
If that
fair enough.
makes sense.
And so for people that are listening that don't know what Marcus is talking about, is I did a big buyout from Rally Roots where I bought like 750 pairs of shoes from them. And then what I did was I basically created not mystery boxes. I actually like
You
set it
showed
out
what
so
was in the
people could see
boxes.
that it wasn't mystery boxes at all. It was reseller boxes,
Yeah.
and each box came with 20 pairs of shoes, and I was selling them for an average of about $250 a box. So you're looking at about, I think it was like $12,
12.50 per pair.
$12 a pair, yeah, something like that. And the way that I set the business model was I tried to create the boxes to be as equal as possible, where each box got one pair of like size 15 shoes, because I got a
Mhm.
bunch of those basketball shoes that were super high
Yeah.
in
I
size.
sold those though.
Yeah. Each box came with like some athletic shoes, some
Some
women's
dress
shoes,
shoes.
some men's dress shoes, some Sperry's, like a little bit of everything.
Mhm.
And the idea behind it was that I was trying to put product in resellers' hands during COVID
Yeah.
that a lot of people couldn't get to, and $12 is a little bit on the higher end for used shoes as far as like a wholesale price. But
Mhm.
my marketing towards it was, you'll double your money. You should be able to double your money on any box. And
Mhm.
if you don't, I will take care of it, which I had probably 3 or 4 boxes where people were unhappy, or there were issues, there were flaws that I missed on pairs of shoes. And I replaced, every single one of those for each
Mhm.
person with higher end shoes that I wasn't ever going to put in a box.
Right.
And so I did have, you know, the 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 boxes for the most part sold quickly, but it was one of those things that it was like, I didn't look up comps on 700 pairs of shoes.
Of
I
course
just looked
not.
at them and, just threw them in a box and said Nikes, Adidas, Reebok, trying to
Mhm.
get people a variety.
Yeah.
But then it goes down to what I was talking about in my video today. You have to have the right buyer at the right time, and the right
Mhm.
size, the right color, the right condition, and the right price. I mean, that's only 6 or 7 factors of probably 10 or 15
Yeah.
that really play into someone buying a pair of shoes. And, now if condition was bad, they're unsellable, then obviously
Yeah.
that's different. But uh, I tried to, because I tried to put myself in the shoes of, like, if I had bought a box from Drew, if I was
Mhm.
buying a box from myself, would I have been happy with this box?
Mhm.
And that's how I laid them out when I took the pictures. As I said, you get to see everything you buy before I
Right.
ship it. So at least like before you go in and you click on a box on the website, you can feel some comfort in knowing like I'm familiar with that brand, I'm familiar with this
Mhm.
brand, and I'm comfortable buying this box.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I try to do as best as possible. But at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. I made a couple mistakes in a few boxes, and then like you said, I tried to replace them. But I haven't had, since I had that sale, I guess you could call it,
Mhm.
I haven't really had anybody after I replaced the damaged ones.
Yeah.
I haven't had anybody reach out to me and be like, I got to admit, this was a really bad purchase on my end. Like even for people to give me like bad feedback,
Mhm.
you were one of the only people that had, which in a good way, I mean it in a good way, because I take criticism like as learning something.
Yeah.
Um, and it was definitely a learning experience for me because I wasn't going to list 700 pairs of shoes.
Of course not.
Ryan originally thought there was like 300 to 400, and I'm like, okay, if I list 100 pairs of shoes a week, I can have this done in like 2 months.
Yeah.
And then or not even 2 months, a month and a half. But when I showed up, we're talking over 700 pairs of
Yeah.
shoes, and I had to go home and get a U-Haul and come back the
Right.
second day because I was unprepared for the amount of shoes there was.
Yeah.
And so it was a great learning experience, and it's just not one of those things that like I marketed as buy a box and 10x your money, because
No.
they were
Yeah.
used shoes,
There
like
was never no inclination in my mind that I was gonna get stupid rich off this box, you know what I mean? Like,
right,
but me, I had just gotten into reselling and I needed inventory, and I was like, "Hey, he's got a bunch of shoes. I need to get my hands on one of those boxes." You know what I mean? And I got my hands on one of the boxes. I was never upset. I just wanted to get rid of what I still have left, you know what I mean? And
sure,
uh
sure,
even slashing the prices, like I just don't think the couple pairs that I have left, I just don't think they're desirable. But like I said, man, I made a ton of money off of it. So there's no harm done. You know what I mean? Like at
sure,
the end of the
sure,
day, I got what I paid for and I got the outcome I was looking for. So it's all
yeah.
good with me, man. And
Rachel, you need to do 10 more reps before you get off of whatever machine you're on. But
hey, Chief Stacks, what's going on, bro? Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it.
it was a learning experience for me because like if I could go back and explain the whole thing, which I may do in another video, down the
Mhm.
road, like looking back at, I'll do like you know, one of my most interesting business deals of 2021 or something. But,
Yeah.
looking back on it, for me to try to take that on by myself was such a heavy load that I had so many people DMing me and messaging me, and I was making YouTube videos about the series because I had met with Rally Roots,
Mhm. And that
and
was awesome.
Ryan made a video about it, and then he said go subscribe to Drew's channel. So I was trying to keep the momentum of the content going
Mhm.
for new subscribers, and to try to build off of that.
Right.
And there's a lot of factors in that, and I don't want to waste too much time, talking about it. But I mean, the amount of work that I did in 3 days to make all of that happen,
Mhm.
like I think I slept for like 6 hours in those three
Yeah.
days. I mean, I was up. I mean, I don't. You look at my shed. I
Mhm.
really didn't have the space for 700 pairs. I mean,
No.
they were
You were
literally in.
boxing them up outside.
I was boxing them up outside. They were piled high in my living room.
Yeah.
Shout out to my wife for putting up
She
with
was
me for 3
definitely a soldier, man.
Yeah. Um, I know, Dana, you
No,
didn't
Dana, there's
you
no problems,
yeah.
bro.
No, we're cool. We're totally
Yeah,
cool.
definitely.
So
1000% cool, man. Like I don't regret it. And I would honestly do it again. I made a lot of money off that box. Like I want there to be no doubt whatsoever. I made a lot of money off that box, guys. There was just you guys, if you haven't seen the video, go back to Drew's channel, man, and look at this video. There was hundreds of pairs from a sneaker reseller that sold his whole collection. And there was just some shoes in there, guys, that you wouldn't even want. Like there's you just got to see the video. Drew did nothing wrong. He had an incredible opportunity. He monopolized on it, and he did what any of us would have done. If Rally Roots hit you up like, "Hey, I got hundreds of pairs of sneakers. Do you want to buy them all?" You would have said yes, and you would have done it. Don't act like you wouldn't have. Uh, and at the end of the day, man, I'm greatly appreciative of you, making whatever, so the two left shoes or the two whatever it was, two like that right there, you made that right with a pair of Air Reaver Dirt Tracks, and then the other pair of shoes, the sole was coming off. You made that right with a brand new pair of New Balances. You didn't have to do that. You could have just gave me back $24 and be like, here you go. But you gave me two pairs of sneakers that paid for the whole price of the box pretty much in itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And your channel grew like crazy, and your Instagram grew like crazy because of that deal, man. So it was just
I
an
gained
awesome
I
experience.
I think at the time, like, after everything was said and done, I gained about 800 subscribers
Yeah,
from that
it's
series,
crazy,
so
dude.
that was cool, and meeting Ryan was one of the reasons I did it, like, I
Yeah,
jumped on the opportunity because 'cause I've been wanting to meet him for a long time,
right.
and I also wanted to challenge myself, I wanted to see if it was something that I could handle.
Hmm.
Again, 300 pairs compared to 700 pairs was a big
Yeah, over
difference.
double.
When I got there, like, if you go back and you watch the video, I mean,
Your face was just like, whoa.
it's literally a mountain of shoes, and
Yeah.
so, it was a lot of fun to do though, and I'm really big into challenging myself and seeing what I'm capable of, and so that series, really put my skills as a business owner to the test to see like
Right.
what I was capable of. I mean, I bought a Shopify store and I built a website, I did a launch, I promoted it, I made YouTube videos about it. Like
Yeah.
everything that I did in that series, um,
It was all hustle, man.
was really, yeah, me hustling and stretching myself to see like exactly, how hard I could push myself, and that was about as hard as I could push myself. But
Yeah, man,
it
you almost broke.
it was rewarding. Looking back on it, would I do it the same way? Probably not. Um, I mean, realistically, I had about $5 buy cost into each shoe,
Mhm.
and to sell them for $12 a pair, 12.50 a pair, and I think it was like the box was 250 shipped, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
that's
So,
why I called it
you know,
1250.
yeah, so I spent about an average of like 40 to $70 to ship each box.
Mhm,
So when you add that, it was really like I was making probably about $4 to $5 a pair on the
mhm.
shoes, which at a wholesale price, that's probably pretty good. Um, no, they weren't. I mean,
Yeah,
some of them were brand new, some of them were dirty, some of them were clean, some of them were
yeah.
crispy, some of them were complete trash.
But
Um,
when I received them, they were all ready to get listed, so that's, one good thing.
yeah. So, um, but I don't remember what I was saying. But looking back on it, I would have done things a little differently. Uh, but I wasn't really doing it for the profits of each pair of shoes. I was doing it because I really didn't have the space to store 700 pairs of shoes,
Right.
and I wanted to help the community, the reselling community, and I wanted to grow my channel and my Instagram, obviously,
Mhm,
you know. So I was hoping that by taking that opportunity, my Instagram and my YouTube would blow up. And did it blow up? No. But in the first like week or two, in the first week that I put out like 3 or 4 videos from that series, it
mhm.
did really good. But I mean, it's kind of like a roller coaster,
Of course.
After Rally Roots shared it, the first video started going like this. My
Mhm.
second one was doing good, my third one, and then after about the third one, it started kind of going back
Right.
down, which was expected. I mean, I um they came for the shoe series, and then
Yeah,
after that, they kind of left. So
of course. I stuck around though, buddy. I actually found you from Josh's video, and he was talking about how you had just ordered a shed. And my girlfriend's like, "Who's that?" And I said, "I don't know." He said his name was Profit Monster. So I typed in your name, and first video I watched was of you getting the shed, and I've been watching ever since.
nice, man. Well, I appreciate the support, and
No
you know,
problem,
you
man.
you I know you're always kind of messaging me on Instagram, and you're super supportive on YouTube. You comment, I see you in tons of people's channels leaving comments and live streams and stuff.
Yeah, man.
I think you're doing it right, man. Like,
I try to
especially,
be a actual valid member of this community instead of someone that's just trying to monetize themselves. You know what I mean? Uh, it gets a little rough, man, because I'm subscribed to more channels than what I have subscribers. So I
yeah.
can't watch all the content, but I definitely try to go back and at least, especially some of the day ones, man. I try to go back and at least leave comments on people's videos. Then
Yeah.
there's like videos that I listen to while I'm listening that I never get to comment on. So you guys
Yeah.
might think I missed one, but I definitely caught them all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough. It's tough for sure to even to be a YouTuber or to make YouTube content and try to keep up with everybody is like if I, you know, I'm even starting to get to the point on some of my videos which I never thought I would get to. I thought I would be one of those guys that was like I will respond to every comment on every video. And now I'm
Mhm.
getting to the point where I'm like, man, I'm getting
You
some
can't.
really kind, really nice comments like people saying, "Thank you so much for making this video. I really
Mhm.
liked this part." And I cannot do it, man. Like I know
Right.
how Josh feels, Harry
Yeah.
Tornado. And it's like, I mean, the man, puts out a video and he gets 70, 80,000 views on a video
Yeah.
right now or more.
It's
And,
crazy.
can you imagine trying to respond to 4,500 comments and still
Yeah.
run your
It's
business? It's like,
impossible.
it's literally impossible. And, and,
Yeah.
and no matter how hard you want to be that guy or that girl that responds to every single comment, eventually you just can't. And,
Right.
I still at least go in and I heart every comment to show people that I'm reading them. I read every single comment, and people that are new, at least if someone says like, "Hey, I just found your channel," I try to respond to those to let people know like I am reading the comments.
Yeah.
Um, but
Rachel, these are just the lights that I use to do my listings with. It's actually just like a light on a thingamajiggy. But
but
yeah.
yeah, it's a grind, man, and so I have respect to anybody who makes content and still finds time to watch others and leave thoughtful comments and not just say like, "Hey, leave a like," or great
Yeah.
video so and
Or
so.
emojis.
Yeah, like
Because
someone that actually says, "Hey, Drew, great video. I love the part that you shared about this." I'm
right.
like, man, that means a lot to me. That let's just say, uh, I can't give an example because there's so many reseller YouTubers, but like anybody like you that like I know that like, hey man, you're trying to make videos, you're trying to list, you're trying to
Mhm.
source, and you still leave a comment on one of my videos. Like I have a lot of respect for that because I know
Right.
what it feels like to not get comments on a video or to put out a video and be like, man, why do I get so many views but not enough likes or whatever? And now
Yeah.
at this point, I'm just making videos and whatever happens happens because
Yeah.
that's what I said in my thrift my Vlogmas series is like I'm not so much looking for analytics anymore on YouTube. It's
Mhm.
just I'm making the content that I like to make.
Right.
And if people vibe with it, then awesome. If they don't like it, man, there's 20,000 other resellers you can watch that will really
Exactly.
fit your personality. I am not everybody's cup of tea,
Yeah.
and I know that for a fact that there are people that don't like me because I talk too much. Like one time on the podcast, someone left a comment. We get it all the time actually, but
Yeah.
someone commented recently and said, said, "Geez, Drew needs to stop talking and let the other guys talk for once." And I'm like, "What? I thought I was doing pretty good."
Right. Yeah, man. I know, and at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like you said, it is your channel, I know there's probably I don't have like the most awesome, like vibrant, outgoing personality. Like my lives, I'm a little bit more livelier, but in my like actual pre-recorded videos, I'm not really like very animated or anything, man. But that's what you're gonna get. Unfortunately, I don't,
I don't think it's unfortunate at all. I think you got to be you. Like
yeah.
I'm not going to pretend to be, like Matt Part-Time Pickers for example
Mhm.
has a great channel.
Yeah.
It's not for me. I don't like sitting and watching garage sale videos.
Yeah.
Froggy Flips, another great one. I mean, the man just had a video hit 5 million views.
Yeah.
A reselling video hit 5 million views.
Right.
I think they're both amazing people, but that content is not for me. Just watching someone pick up a bunch of stuff, look at it, which is why I don't
Mhm.
make a lot of those because I don't vibe with them because it's just not my style. Like I
Yeah.
I vibe more with like the loud, outgoing, like pump you up, let's
Mhm.
go, kind of stuff,
Yeah.
which is why me and Joey vibe so well because
Right.
like,
Right.
that's just my personality. And, you know, um, I mean, and it just shows that those videos do well because you can see how many subscribers both of those channels have and
Right.
how many views their videos are getting.
Yeah.
But they're both more quiet, calmer, you
Yeah.
know, they don't like get excited when they find something. Like if I find something rare, man, like I'm getting
You're like,
excited.
let's go.
Yeah, if they find something that is like, they paid $10 for it and they sell it for $900. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just had a pretty good sale here, paid $10,
Yeah.
sold it for 900. So yeah, that's a pretty good sale. I'm like, bro, I'd be screaming off the roof if I
Yeah.
made a $900 sale from a $10 pickup.
Yeah,
So
Hillary
yeah,
says, "Keep it real. Those that like you for who you are will stay," and that's
yep,
what. So, like, you know that I had the sneaker channel, man. Like, I felt like I wasn't being like authentic, and that was my first channel that I like, really had like a lot of views on. I had a couple of videos go, semi-viral ish, and I just didn't feel like I was being me, you know what I mean? And that's why I make absolutely no content on that channel anymore. And like it's pretty much monetized, but I'll never make another video on there again because that's not me, you know what I mean? So like if
yeah,
you come to Dixon's Pickens channel, this is me, this is how I am on and off camera, you know what I mean? And I'm
yep,
comfortable with this channel. So it's my baby, and I'm a rock with it. And if it makes it, it makes it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm making content that I enjoy making, and that's what matters to me.
yep. Scott literally just typed in what I was about to say. Like, you'll never be successful trying to be something that you're not,
Right.
no matter how hard it is. Like, eventually you
You'll
may
show
see a
the real you.
yeah. Well, it's and that, but eventually you will just get exhausted from trying to be someone else or trying to be someone for other people. Like
Mhm,
like it's the same thing as like I tell people all the time, but a lot of people just don't understand my personality because they don't watch my content
mhm.
consistently. They just hear me in the podcast because Josh is in the podcast and people
Right.
like Josh, and then they're like, oh, who's this other guy who
Yeah,
talks so much or something? And it's like, I'm not aggressive. I'm just passionate about what I
yeah,
do. And
yeah.
people take my passion for aggression because they don't follow my content and they don't understand my personality. And it's like,
Right.
even now, I'm just passionate about reselling, about content, about
And see, your
self
content is
business.
for those people, though. It's not for the people that don't agree with you. You know what I mean? So
Right.
if they feel you just talk too much or whatever the case is, that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but you make your content for people like me, people like
Yeah.
all the 11,000 subscribers you have. You know what I mean? So at the
Yeah.
end of the
Like,
day, man, you got to do what you got to do for yourself.
yeah, I mean, I've even thought about starting a second podcast on my own
Mhm.
just to talk about stuff because I could record a podcast a day, like every day. I could
I'd
record a
subscribe
podcast.
to that.
So, but it's just a matter of like, it's not anything against Josh or Joey. It's just like
Mhm.
I just love to talk about this stuff. And
Right,
Joey's such a nice guy that like he would literally sit and listen to the whole podcast and not say anything because he's like,
right.
dude, I know that Drew is just like on something on this topic.
Yeah, yeah,
But I want him to jump in and say something, but he's just letting me do my thing sometimes. And people mistake that for instead of Joey just being kind and me being passionate, people
mhm.
think that I'm just like trying to be the
Oh, the
ruler of the
Devo, yeah,
podcast. And it's like, no, you guys just don't understand. Like,
right,
this is just a topic I'm passionate about. And, maybe Josh or Joey just doesn't care about this topic. So they're
yeah,
letting me talk about it until that topic is done and then we move on.
right. I get it, I get it. What's up, Chi-Town Picker? What's
So,
up, John Bama Picking and Grinning? Thanks for showing up, bro.
yeah, what's up? What's up, everybody? I know that I'm not letting Marcus put up the comments a lot because I'm having a good conversation.
Man, honestly, dude, I suck at the comments for real. Like I'm so bad at it. And I know like it's a part of the live stream, like I'm supposed to help people feel involved. But guys, I suck at it and I apologize. I'll try to get better, but I'm here to interview people. And I know you guys are chit-chatting back and forth in the chat section. So I am sorry if I do miss comments. If you have a question, I would just appreciate it if you keep asking it until I see it. That's the best piece of advice I could give you guys when you're in my live stream, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we would all listen to your podcast, bro.
I
No, you
think I
don't,
think
Marcus.
Zach needs to make a finance and investing podcast, or he needs to start making content on his YouTube channel about it because everybody is sharing his content on Instagram when he's sharing about investing and his Roth
Yeah.
IRAs and the stock market and his dividends and all this stuff. Zach is a wealth of knowledge for that
Yes,
stuff.
he is. Yeah.
He needs Zach, if you're listening still, you need to make more content about this, or let's do something together.
There you go. Zach, I need to have you on my show too, bro. Like I'm gonna message you about that too. Yeah, man. So I hate to cut it abruptly short, but my girlfriend's home with dinner, Normally, this podcast, talk about podcasts. Normally, this show only lasts an hour or so, but that's how time flies when you're talking to good company, man. So, you guys got any last minute questions for Drewski here? Put them in the comment section so I could try to get to it. Yeah, Cha-Ching King, she works at Cracker Barrel, man. So,
Oh
she
man, I
brought
love
me some real delicious, I'm sure.
bro. I love Cracker Barrel. I could eat Cracker Barrel like every day because there's always something different.
I love it too, man. It's so fire. Chief Stacks, I lived in OK for a little while. Let's see. Uh-oh. Was wondering
Oh, I
where
just want
is
to say
he?
thanks for having me on the show. Thanks for putting up with me. So I
No,
know
dude,
that.
you helped me out, man, by coming on the show, man. And honestly, I'd been wanting you on the show for a long time. But I didn't think that you would come on my show, bro, until you said so in the comment section when I don't know who I had on at that point in time, but I was like, yes, it's locked in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just really
The last
appreciate
thing I'll say
it.
about that is I never want to ever feel like I'm too big, to talk to anybody else, which I don't even consider myself a big influencer by any means. And people say all the time, like, Drew, you're a big influencer, but I don't consider myself at that point yet, but that's because I'm just really hard on myself
Yeah.
to push myself towards my
Yeah,
goals.
you're
But
right, Rachel. I thought it was on your show,
yeah,
Rachel.
yeah, I was on Rachel's show.
Yeah.
So, but
I got a horrible memory.
but yeah, like I really appreciate you like thinking of me like that, if that's the right way to say, like, oh,
I
Drew's
get it.
probably too big of a reseller to be on my channel. Like that means a lot to me that someone thinks of me like that.
Yeah.
That I'm like a big influencer in the community. But I definitely appreciate you reaching out, and anybody else. Like I haven't even been on a live show other than Joey's.
Yeah.
I feel like in quite a long time. I was on Cat the Nurse Flippers with Josh and Joey, but that was like a triple thrift type deal.
Yeah.
Um, so like I love being on live streams and chatting with people, but to be honest, I just don't get invited that much. And
Oh,
so I'm usually in them listing while
yeah.
other people are talking because I love to list. So
Right. Well, that's why I told you when you messaged me. Is it? I said, man, look, you're more than welcome to list if you want to. I got enough trouble keeping up with the chat now. This time I'm trying to list with you, bro.
I wanted to make sure that if it was more of like an interview style, that I was being respectful of that, or if it was like a live listing, I wanted
Yeah.
to have pictures ready.
You
So
see, man, and it started out with a interview type of, like, I had a set form of questionnaires, but then I realized everyone's different. So it really more or less is, this show is about having conversations with resellers, and I just get to pick their brain and see, what the people in the chat want to have their questions that they want to have answered to, because everyone's different, and I have different questions for everyone too. So it just really just turned into a conversational time for me to get to know other resellers and just pick their brains, honestly, man.
for sure, man. Well, I appreciate you having me on, and I
Yeah.
enjoy these conversations. So
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
man.
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off here, guys. If you guys are catching this on the replay, I really appreciate you sticking to the end. Smash the subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and if you're not following Drew for some strange reason, make sure you guys go follow Drew, and hey, might as well follow Scott the Cha-Ching King while you're at it. So yeah, man, that's gonna do it for this one, though, guys. You got anything else to say?
Hey, man, enjoy your dinner with your girl, and happy 2022, everyone. Make no
Yes,
excuses
sir.
this year. Push yourself. Be the best reseller that you can be, and treat your business like your business.
Yes, sir. All right, man. I'm gonna catch you on the next one, guys. Until then, let's make this cash.